Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Yay, definitely a good thing. Thumbs up for that. I went to bed late, but at least I slept most of the night. Yay. But at least I got some sleep, and that was good. Definitely a thumbs up. Yesterday, it continued not raining. It's not raining now, and that's good, so it's been dry-ish. Definitely a thumbs up on that. I did things, sort of, yesterday, and that was good. Went for walkies, did stuff, also fell asleep. And that part wasn't so good, but let me tell you the best part for me, I'm actually feeling better. I woke up, took off my sleep apnea mask, and it was a full 5 minutes or more before I needed to cough. I didn't immediately clog up and start hacking and wheezing, so that's good. Definitely. I'm feeling better, though my sinuses are clogged up. Yesterday I felt bad, couldn't do any reactions, and of course, thank you YouTube algorithms, front loading of the videos. Hey, if you like what you see in here, if you could toss me a like, that'd be very cool. If you like what you see in here as well, if you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be very cool. I love comments. I read every single one. I thumbs up each one I can. Well, each one I do read, which is all of them. I answer as many as my executive dysfunction will allow, so that'd be awesome if you could leave a comment. And of course, I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These beautiful and awesome people literally help to keep me alive. And I think that is indeed beautiful and awesome. I enjoy metabolizing. I know that my kitty cat and my hamster enjoy metabolizing. They can't tell me in English, but they live and they like that, and that's good. So thank you, each and every one of these beautiful and awesome people, for being beautiful and awesome. If you'd like to help support me through the Patreon, there is a link somewhere in the show more video description, so thumbs up for that. Well, front loading the video over. So yes, indeed, I survived, and I'm feeling better. I still feel nasally up here. I didn't feel great yesterday. I was dizzy and just not wonderful, so I didn't get any reactions done. I was just mega tired at the time, too. Excuse me. And then I did fall asleep for a while. Not a great amount of time, just for a short, but, yay. Still, though, past that, came out pretty good. Had a day and did stuff, and that was fun. Surviving is good. So thumbs up on that. Past that, as stated, I haven't done a whole lot physically. I've been doing what I can just to survive and be as active as I can to go out on walkies and such like that. And I travel up and down my stairs here because, I have to go to the bathroom or I want to go outside or get something to eat. Thumbs up for that. So staying as active as possible, and that is a good thing too. So definitely a thumbs up. Oh, woofed up. One of the things that I wanted to talk about was, unfortunately, a current event. I watched this one fellow online, on YouTube, of course, Bo the Fifth Column. He's younger than I am, of course, most people are. But while he's a Floridian, and he's kind of, rednecky, but he's extremely left. He's a strong leftist living down in a red state, and he talks about a whole bunch of stuff. But one of the things he talked about was, don't let the hype of China having robots scare you. Their robots are now at the state that our robots in the US were 17 years ago. They've got a lot of catching up to do, so we don't need a robot arms race. And on the other hand, he now pointed out that there is now an inevitable change in warfare, because even though the Chinese say they're not going to use it for war, it's going to be used for war, just like we're going to be using them for war in the US. And the problem with this is it changes the face of warfare so badly, because who's going to have the robots? The rich countries. Who is not going to have the robots? All the countries that get invaded by these things. And when you've got imperialistic nations, very warlike, like the US, where one of the questions from the politicians they have to face is, are there going to be boots on the ground? Because war is popular and gets you elected, but casualties look bad and won't get you reelected. So you have to be for war, but you don't want casualties because you want to get reelected. You don't care if the soldiers live or die. Take a look at the politicians. They don't care. But if they can go to war and topple a nation and our soldiers don't die, but theirs do, oh yeah, where's the downside? Our military is going to start using these robots against other nations that can't defend against them. The Chinese are going to be using these robots against nations that can't afford to defend against them. All richer countries are now going to be facing this. Where's the downside for the richer nation? No soldiers getting killed, and you can go under the radar. It's going to be bad. Things like walkers and other further, more hideous drones, things that you can't protect against. Welcome to the future. So yay. I don't like current events. I mean, I follow them. I don't like talking about current events. But life is life. One of the things that I have done, though, I have therapy today, and so I'm going to be talking about this with my therapist, but I want to talk about this because last night I came to further revelations while out on walkies about that story that I've been working on. Yesterday I was talking about how I was not sure how this story was going to end, and it's the one where there's the person talking about how the good their life is, and then bullet through their brain, it's done, and the assassin is leaving, but then they got the wrong person and they can't figure out what's going on, and they're kidnapped by someone that shouldn't have been able to do it, and they wake up in a place with a head injury and they're dying of fever, and then they do, and somebody sent them to clean the body. But while they are there, their chronological damage ruins them. They are just thoroughly destroyed and end up in an asylum. And one of the people that works in the asylum, that's how the story ends. I mentioned yesterday this person who the story ends. Katie, she works in the Mount Valen asylum / mental hospital, and she has to go down to the lower basement to get some supplies. And when she gets there, well, she's like Lev Barnett, who is damaged temporally. She has become damaged spatially. She can only walk forward into the remains of the Mount Valen excavation that found this thing. And it shouldn't be where it is, and she shouldn't be where she is, and she can't leave because try to go back, everything's dark and doesn't move. Go off to the sides and the air gets thicker and harder to move through, and the only place you can really go is forward. And she ends up passing by all these things, and I'd wondered, how was I going to end this story? Well, I finally came to the understanding last night. You know through this story that nothing good happens to anybody who is touched by this object that the Mount Valen excavation dug up. The thing about cosmic and existential horror is I've stated, to boil it down to its essentials, is that there is a being, object, location, or situation that we cannot understand. It is existing or doing something in a fashion that we cannot comprehend, with little or no regard for human life or safety. That's everything from the existential horror of being in a haunted house to the actual existential cosmic horror of facing the fact that there are these vast beings that, well, they don't care about you, the universe doesn't care about you, and we live only because they haven't accidentally stepped on us. So this is an existential / cosmic horror story. And the thing that is being found, is it even really a thing? It could be a being, an object, a location, or just a situation. So a thing doesn't even have to be a thing. And in fact, in the context of the story, it isn't important what they dig up. Not even in the slightest. That's why I just say it's the Codiron's MacGuffin, because what it is they dig up doesn't matter. It might not even be a thing. Could be just the situation. But when she's going in there, she's going through the remains of the old place where they had found and were analyzing this. And when she gets to the room where the object is, she's had to climb and crawl past the hundreds of corpses of everybody who has ever come into contact with this thing as part of the organization. They have all come there, and they have unalived themselves in supplication to the object. Everybody. Even the person, of course, one of the adherents and followers of Kadiron, who had been blessed and given this little quest to go and dig this thing up. Everybody. And Katie is just the only thing she could do. What's that outside? She finds herself on her knees crawling through the corpses to get to the thing. She's got her eyes shut and she's finally bonk, forehead up. She can't go any further. She can't go back. She can't go to the sides. She can only go forward, but she can't go forward because the object is there. And she can see the light through her eyes, and she can feel it through her skin, and she's surrounded by all these dead. She doesn't want to be there. She's crying. She's just, no, please, I don't want this. No. Because all she can do is move forward until she's there. Until at last, she finally just wipes her eyes off with the backs of her hands, and all she can do is open her eyes. And with those lines, that's when the story ends. I don't need to tell you what happens to Katie when she opens her eyes. I've already told you what happens to Katie when she opens her eyes. That one person whose life was wonderful and then a bullet through the head. That one person who was kidnapped and perished of fever. That one person who's broken temporally. All of those people who dug up this thing and are now all around her, who unalived themselves in supplication to this object. All of the hundreds of people that have come into contact without even knowing it and paid the final price. I don't need to tell you what happens to Katie. You already know nothing good happens to anybody. And in fact, there's only Lev, one person who's had an encounter with this thing and survived, and really should he have? He's broken, unable to comprehend anything because he needs to be one person to understand, but part of his consciousness is in the future where we are in the story, and then the other half is still stuck in the past and still experiencing simultaneously the past where he broke. He can't comprehend it. And he's living in confusion and terror for the rest of his days. You know nothing good happens to Katie, but I don't need to tell you, because anything I tell you that happens to her won't be anywhere near as horrific as what you're going to imagine happening to Katie. Poor Katie. Poor anybody. You don't want to attract the attention of the cosmic horrors. Of course, the cosmic horrors don't even know about us on the ground. It's who knows what the situation was. I mean, the person was an adherent and worshipper of Kadiron, so likely just one of the Angakira. Not the Angakira, those are the children. One of the Angoka, children of the Ang. Cosmic horror framework is pretty cosmic, I think. Thumbs up for that. So yeah, I spent my entire time talking about that, and there's still a whole bunch of stuff I want to talk about, because there's still all sorts of stuff about the Razor's Edge and my setting on that and what I'm doing with it and the huge multi-book project that's turning into. But I've opened up 24 hours for the comments in my community tab, and I'm going to go through and thank, well, however many people have left me comments. It ain't much anymore, but anything more than 0 is awesome. Thank you. If I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended, and even though I count American Sign Language, well, my depression, fibro, ADHD, and so much more, I usually luck I can remember what my name is, and I have forgotten. So we have... this person says they are a high school student in Japan, and the name is kind of actually a silly looking emoji. So thank you very much, thumbs up, and I am sorry that life is Oh, high school in Asian countries is not good. But thank you very, very much for watching. It is appreciated. Trace Sadlier, Sadlier, thumbs up and thank you. Confused L29, always good to see you in the comments, and hopefully you're enjoying the horror stories and all that. And then there's Stig Prod, thumbs up and thank you. And Scar, greatly appreciated. The JWRB, thumbs up and thank you. There is Ceiling, thumbs up. Ben B, greatly appreciated and good to see you in the comments. We have Ice Damon, definitely a thumbs up, and that is it. 9 people in the past 24 hours who left me comments, greatly appreciated. Definitely a thumbs up. You get me out of my head and into the world and dealing with real people, if only for a short time and only in text. But thank you very, very much. Oof, done. And of course, don't know what device you're watching this on. I don't even know if you have the ability to take a look at the video description. I watch YouTube on my PS4 occasionally. All you get is videos, nothing else. So if you can see the video description, inside of it I have links to all my various channels. If you could check that out. I also have links to my Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and again, I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. My voice is too whiny this morning because of the hanging on part of the sinus issues here. Ugh, I hate that. Anyway, though, these beautiful and awesome people are beautiful and awesome, and I've derailed myself. I have no idea how long I should be holding my hands up, so hopefully I'm not taking them down too early or too late. Anyway, though, if you'd like to help me out without becoming a patron, I do have a PayPal link, and if you'd like to help me out without sending money at all, there's an Amazon wishlist link with stuff like cat food, plushies. If you could check it out, that'd be very cool. Don't feel obligated. I don't feel entitled. And if you cannot or you do not donate, I take all good wishes and deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest. Thank you very much. If you could toss me a like, I appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence. A definite thumbs up. And of course, if you could hit the notification bell on the subscription button, that would be very cool. Definitely a thumbs up. Well, Hokey smokes, I got therapy today. I'm hoping to get some reactions recorded today, so that would be good. Past that, therapy days are always to get stuff pulled up and mushed around up here, so I need to let things settle down. So I'm going to be as creative as I can, do as much as I can, and still go out on walkies, so a good thing. I still haven't changed this. I'm going to put something down, whether it be profound, silly, a drawing, or something. This is going to stay the same because this is important. This is important, but it's time for a change. And of course, with the covfefe bug still raging, please, if you do not have to go out amongst the unmasked, unvaxxed mouth breathers, please don't. And if you do, wear a mask, wash your hands often, maintain your social distancing, try not to touch your face. If you haven't gotten the vaccination yet, please do if you can. If you can get the booster, get it. I'm getting mine as soon as I can. Don't become a statistic, please. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and quite frankly, I think that's a very good thing.